What's up, YouTube? This is Mathos97, and welcome to another episode of my WWE 2K15 Universe Mode. This time, we're here with main event. So without any further delay, let's take a look at the match card. What a match we have to kick this episode off. Mark Henry, the former World Heavyweight Champion, goes one-on-one with the former WWE Champion, John Cena. Naomi one-on-one with Tamina Snuka. Booker T with Goldust in his corner goes one-on-one with Fandango. The next matchup on the card is Cody Rhodes going one-on-one with Xavier Woods. Cody Rhodes still preparing for that Intercontinental Championship Fatal 4-Way. And what about this for a main event? A clash of colossal proportions as Big Show goes one-on-one with Luke Harper. So as we can see, Fandango with a bit of an upset there, defeating Booker T. And Cody Rhodes defeats Xavier Woods in singles competition. So let's go ahead and move on to the first matchup for this episode, as it's Mark Henry one-on-one with John Cena. We're here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for this edition of main event. And Mark Henry, he's got a lot to look forward to at WrestleMania, as Mark Henry's still preparing, still getting ready for that triple threat match for the World Heavyweight Championship, where he'll be competing against not only the World Champion Christian, but also the Rated R Superstar Edge, a man that Mark Henry has never been able to defeat in singles competition. Edge has just had Mark Henry's number, and that could be getting inside Mark Henry's head. Could definitely mess with his psychological standing in that matchup. And then, of course, we've got John Cena, who, at this point, doesn't appear as though Cena's going to be at WrestleMania. I mean, last episode, well, not last episode, but two episodes of Raw. What am I saying? Not the last episode of Raw, but the week before that, when Cena competed against CM Punk for the right to see who would face The Rock for the WWE Championship. Cena basically lost his #1 contender's clause to CM Punk. And of course, because CM Punk, the winner of the Royal Rumble, had a right to face The Rock at WrestleMania, CM Punk was willing to put that spot up for grabs. And, you know, in exchange, Cena had to give up his #1 contender's clause, and whoever won would face The Rock. And that's what happened. Punk defeated Cena, basically eliminating John Cena from WrestleMania. So Cena's got to be a bit frustrated about that. I mean, he won the WWE Championship back at Night of Champions, defeating Dean Ambrose of all people. I know, that whole storyline with Ambrose winning the championship, looking back on it, doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but, you know, my booking, I would like to think, has gotten much better since WWE 13, and, you know, I don't regret really much that I did in WWE 13, because I believe everything happens for a reason in life. You know, even if it's not always a good reason. Because, I mean, you know, for every winner, there's got to be a loser. For every success, there has to be a mistake. Sometimes, you know, you learn from your mistakes to make yourself a better success. And that's, I don't know, that whole storyline with Ambrose, I can't really just ignore it. Because, you know, you don't ignore the past. That's how you make more mistakes. So it's still something we go off. Dean Ambrose, of course, he held the championship for a little bit. Made himself a nice little standout there for the Shield for a while, but then, of course, you know, the Shield, they focus more on being a unit, because that's what the Shield should be. They're a unit, they're a faction, they work together, they're the strongest, possibly the strongest faction in the history of WWE. I didn't really get that back in WWE 13, I didn't quite understand that, but now I think I've got a better method of booking the Shield. I think I've figured out what the Shield is, what they should be. But, you know, John Cena, he did definitely go to war with the Shield, and he managed to come out on top that night at Night of Champions. But then after all this time, you know, his rivalry with The Undertaker over the WWE Championship, the match with Batista that he won, and then to come, you know, to lose the WWE Championship, the Elimination Chamber, and then now Cena not even competing for the title at WrestleMania. That's gotta just absolutely crush him. I mean, he's been in the WWE title picture for, you know, almost probably about somewhere around 6 months at this point. And now, I mean, by this point, Cena, he finds himself out of a WrestleMania match. I mean, just imagine being in Cena's shoes. He's got to be He's got to be frustrated at this point. He's got to be upset with himself. And perhaps, you know, desperate men do desperate things. And, in fact, when somebody's desperate, they're perhaps at their most dangerous. So, this is going to be an interesting matchup to see. A bit of a proving grounds for John Cena. He's got to do whatever it takes to beat Mark Henry here tonight. Get himself back on the winning track. And now look at this. John Cena setting up the 5 moves of doom as he hits the shoulder blocks. And now look at the strength of Cena to lift up Mark Henry there and plant him down in the center of the ring. And now John Cena going for the... Oh, look at Mark Henry, though. Mark Henry, I didn't think he could lift his leg that high. But look at that. Henry with a scoop slam to Cena. Oh, and now a headbutt right there by Mark Henry. As Cena was going for the 5-knuckle shuffle, but clearly Mark Henry could see him as he caught him with a kick to the face. Caught Cena off guard. That could be it. No, Cena manages to kick out at 2. Very close call there for John Cena. Mark Henry just caught Cena completely off guard. He wasn't expecting that. And now look at Cena. He's got something else. He's got the half Nelson neck breaker right there, taking Henry down. And now Cena goes for the cover. What? Nope, that's a rope break. Mark Henry was too close to the ropes, and that's where the long legs of the world's strongest man really pay off for him. And now look at this. Look at John Cena catapulting Mark Henry into the air. And now, attitude adjustment, the pure power, strength of Cena. Cover, 1, 2. Henry kicks out at 2. Not even the attitude adjustment could put down Mark Henry. But I mean, we've seen in the past that Mark Henry, you know, he's a very tough man to take down. I mean, we saw what Christian had to do a couple of weeks ago, last week on SmackDown, in fact. I mean, Christian, he had to attack Henry before the match, hit him with basically everything he had in his arsenal, hit him with the spear, and then immediately, not even going for a pinfall, hit the kill switch right after the spear. That's how much it took to put down the world's strongest man. So Cena, I mean, one measly attitude adjustment, that's not going to cut it. He's going to have to do a lot more than that to try to put down the former king of SmackDown. I mean, Mark Henry, he defeated many a superstar, including The Undertaker, to win the King of the Ring tournament back at Night of Champions. So Cena and Henry almost traveling similar paths. What the hell? Mark Henry through the barricade takes John Cena for a ride. That's certainly not a ride you want to take twice. Cena, I don't even know if he's going to be able to get up from that. Referee now at a 4 count. Mark Henry, that's a 5 count. Mark Henry, he's going to mosey on back inside the ring, but Cena could be done. Mark Henry, that's what he does. Mark Henry, he's just standing confidently. He knows he's got this match won. But can he make it back inside the ring? Referee at an 8 count. Cena's stirring. He's back to his feet. Can he make it in? 9. John Cena just beats the count of 10. And Mark Henry, you know, I don't think that... Oh, wait a minute, look at Cena. Cena, he could have Henry here. 1, 2. No, Mark Henry kicks out at the last second. Oh, that was a close call for Henry. I mean, one moment he thought he had this match won by countout, and then Cena caught him off guard with that small package. Almost got the win there. I don't know. What else does Cena have left in the tank? I mean, that roll-up was almost kind of like a last-ditch effort to try to put away Henry, but now look at Cena. Oh, just throwing Henry shoulder first into that ring post, and now slamming him down onto the mat here. And John Cena dragging Henry to the center of the ring, maybe looking to try to set up the 5-knuckle shuffle. Perhaps, can he hit it this time? No, it almost seems like he's got... Cena, what's he trying to do? Does he have maybe second thoughts? Oh, and now there's a kick to the back of Mark Henry. But Henry is able to get back to his feet. Now look at this. Oh, running STO, taking down John Cena. And look at Henry, runs off the ropes. World's strongest splash. Hooks the leg on Cena. 2 count. No, Cena kicks out at the last second once again. Oh, but Cena, you know, he's on wobbly legs at this point. Mark Henry's done a lot of damage. But Cena counters. Cena plants Henry. And right now, Mark Henry's in trouble. Up, Cena could be going for the half Nelson neck breaker once again. No. He was going to try to punch Henry in the back of the head. And I mean, you know, Henry couldn't see that punch coming. But now look at Henry. Spine buster to John Cena. And, you know, Superman may have met his kryptonite here. Is Mark Henry. He's looking for the world's strongest slam. The coup de grace. But wait a minute, no. Counter by Cena. Cena counters. He takes down Henry. And now look at John Cena. He's looking to put Henry up there for the half Nelson neck breaker, the second one of the match. And that could be it. Cover by Cena. 1. No! Mark Henry kicks out before even a 2 count. And this is where Mark Henry, that adrenaline begins to kick in. And Cena, oh, this is not looking good for Mark Henry. John Cena is looking for the attitude adjustment. He's got him up, and he hits it. John Cena hits the attitude adjustment, and that's going to be it for Mark Henry. No one can kick out of 2 attitude adjustments. Mark Henry kicks out of 2 attitude adjustments. Are you kidding me? Mark Henry somehow, some way, and he's back to his feet. Mark Henry kicks out of the second attitude adjustment, and he even beats Cena back to his feet. I mean, Cena, he's got to be out of it right now. Power slam by Mark Henry. He's still going. John Cena, I mean, he's completely exhausted. Mark Henry somehow, some way, still has more left in the tank. Oh, and this is not good for Cena. I botched that. World's Strongest Slam by Mark Henry. Well, that's got to be it. Cena, there's no way he can kick out of a... no, it's over. 2, 3, Mark Henry has beaten John Cena. Wow. John Cena, he went to war with CM Punk a couple of weeks ago on Raw, and now he went to war with Mark Henry here tonight. And John Cena, you know, Cena, he's been on a bit of a losing streak. I mean, he lost the championship at Elimination Chamber. He lost his rematch clause to CM Punk on Raw, and now he loses to the former World Heavyweight Champion, Mark Henry. I mean, on the season finale of 2K14, Cena defeated Henry. Seemed like Cena had the upper hand on Henry, but this time, Henry, you know, it just shows that Henry has improved. I mean, you know, back on Superstars, the special, the season finale of 2K14, Mark Henry really couldn't even hold a candle to John Cena, but now Henry, now he must be putting himself through the training of his life to get prepared for WrestleMania. It almost seems like losing his World Heavyweight Championship has just made him that much more aggressive as John Cena becomes the next inductee into the Hall of Pain here tonight. As Mark Henry, what a dominant performance here. What is it going to take at WrestleMania for somebody, anybody, to beat Mark Henry? I think going in, I don't even care about what's gone down in the past. I think just by that match alone, it just, you know, Mark Henry's history, which basically just goes against everything I said. What I mean is, like, you know, Christian may have won the World Title Elimination Chamber. He's got momentum on his side, and he may have even beaten Mark Henry on SmackDown, but you saw what all Christian had to do to beat Mark Henry. Even got that cheap shot before the match, just kind of rushed the ring and attacked Henry. And then Edge, you know, Edge, he eliminated him at the Elimination Chamber. He defeated Mark Henry on SmackDown back in 2K14 when Edge made his return. But still, I think I have to say that Mark Henry is the favorite. I mean, just looking at that performance, Henry, he's really stepped up his game. I think it's going to be a really tough task to, I mean, obviously it's going to be a tough task for anybody to take out Mark Henry, but even if Edge and Christian were to team up, that might be their only option. I don't know if they can beat Mark Henry at WrestleMania. Well, anyway, that's yet to be decided. We'll have to see how that goes come WrestleMania. But now we have to take a look at the matchup we've got going on right now. And for some reason, when I made this episode, I forgot that I did this match a few weeks ago on Main Event. So I do apologize for kind of doubling up with this matchup. I didn't realize that when I recorded it. But regardless of the fact that this match has happened before, Naomi did request this rematch with Tamina Snuka. We saw what happened, you know, 2 weeks ago on Main Event when Tamina defeated Naomi. And really, Naomi just almost seemingly went down without much of a fight. It was very one-sided. But Naomi, she requested this rematch. She wants to prove that that's not all she has. It may very well just not... It may very well have just not been Naomi's night. And maybe that's what she's out to prove here tonight. Prove that she can go toe-to-toe with Tamina Snuka. At the moment, big kick there by Naomi. And at the moment, it does seem like Naomi's off to a bit of a better start than she was 2 weeks ago, where in that matchup. I mean, of course, following that match between AJ and Paige, where Paige had come up with a big upset early in the night where she defeated AJ. And then, of course, you know, that... I don't know. I can't speak now. I'm just still speechless from that match between Cena and Henry. Maybe that should have been the main event for this episode. I don't know. Main event does... I don't know if main event still does it now on the network, where it's almost like they have the biggest, like, not biggest, but most important match, air quotes around that whole phrase. But, like, they have the most important match first, rather than at the end of the show, which I don't know if they still do that now, because I don't watch main event, because, you know, wrestling, I feel like if they want, like, if they're having trouble creatively, I feel like the first step would be to decrease the amount of shows you have, like Superstars and main event. I mean, it does give an opportunity for the younger talent to shine, I guess, but you do the live events and whatnot where they, you know, compete there. I don't know, I'm kind of, you know, I'm very ignorant on this sort of topic, so, you know, you have to take my opinion with about, yeah, more than a grain of salt, maybe like a whole little pitcher of salt. But, you know, I feel like I don't know, I just feel like you'd be better creatively if you had less shows and you could book more for that show. Because, I mean, you have a 3-hour Raw, a 2-hour SmackDown, you have an hour-long main event, and Superstars is an hour, I think. I don't know what it is. But, really, who all watches Superstars anymore? Leave a comment down below if you watch Superstars or main events. You know, just... I don't know, that's a good way for me to kind of see, you know, how many of you have stuck with this point in the episode if you're still watching, or if you, I don't know, just skip to the end or something. But if you are still watching, leave a comment whether or not you watch WWE Superstars or main event. Maybe you watch one and not the other, maybe you watch both, maybe you don't watch either of them. Tamina was going for a super kick, but Naomi countered, and oh, rear view! Rear view by Naomi, possibly the dumbest finisher I've ever seen in WWE, but Naomi goes for the cover. 2 counts, but Tamina kicks out. I gotta remember to change that move to Naomi's signature or something, because that, maybe it is her signature. I don't know, but that's a terrible finisher, in my opinion. I don't know. I don't even know. I can't. I'm just done. But anyway, let's take a look at the matchup right now. As Naomi, though, after hitting that finisher signature move thing, Naomi she's got herself in control, and now Tamina counters, though. Just, of course, as I say that, the momentum's got to shift in favor of the other competitor. That's how it always works. And off the suplex, Tamina's going to the top rope here, maybe thinking Superfly splash, shades of her father. No, instead, Tamina with a corkscrew splash there. 1, 2, 3. No, Naomi just barely kicks out at like 2 7/8 there. But you know, Tamina, I thought she was gonna go for, you know, pay homage to her father with the Superfly splash. Instead, hits that corkscrew moonsault, but even that wasn't enough to put Naomi away. Well, I have to say, if Naomi was looking to, you know, have a better performance here tonight, prove that she can hang, she can go toe to toe with in a match with Tamina. I think that's just what she's proven here tonight. As there's another cover, Naomi kicks out. And Tamina now, Tamina's looking a bit tired. You know, she hasn't really competed in a matchup like this where she's been pushed this far. Oh, now just tying up Naomi's arm there on the ropes. Cover. 1, 2, 3, and that is very anticlimactic ending. Huh. Well, that's unfortunate. But anyway, Tamina gets the win over Naomi. I don't know how to feel about that finish. I mean, that was a good match they had going, and then it just did that. I don't know. It's not really the computer's fault, I guess, because even in matches that I've played, that happens sometimes. I mean, there's nothing you can really do about it. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's ever really something that will get fixed for the WWE game, because it just kind of happens. You know, you take so much damage throughout a matchup, and then my laptop is dying, so I gotta pause commentary for a second. Real professional by me. You know, I'm not even gonna pause it. I'm just gonna keep talking as you hear me getting further and further away from the microphone as I start getting louder to try to speak while it's there. It's plugged in, and I'm coming back, and I'm back. How's it going, everybody? So it's, anyway, that just happened. But, yeah. So, you know, as I said in one of my career videos, whether or not it's been uploaded by this point, it probably has been, considering I've really uploaded a lot of Universe Mode recently. I mean, I was putting main emphasis on Universe Mode to get those videos up before, you know, before I get the 500th video, which was cool. I got that going. And the Slammy videos, they should be, well, I changed my mind. I was originally going to have all the nominations be separate videos, but that's just going to kind of be sort of spam. And then, you know, I like to have a lower kind of upload count. I try to follow, like, the philosophy of less is more. You get less videos, but, like, longer videos. That's what I prefer, because then, you know, if instead of doing, say, 50 episodes of a series, where each video is, like, 20 minutes, and if I did 100 episodes in a series with each video being 10 minutes, and then over the course of, you know, many years on YouTube, with, you know, continuing that, then, you know, the 500 videos I would have now would be up to like 1,000, and that just makes it, in my opinion, more difficult to watch, because then you gotta find all of these videos. If you want to watch a series in full, you gotta go through and you gotta find, instead of just finding 50 episodes, you gotta search for, you know, 100 episodes or something like that. So I prefer to keep the, you know, keep the episodes full, keep them plentiful, rather than having, say, an episode where I play like one match and it's like 10 minutes. Now, granted, that's what I've done with a few of my career episodes, but that's because, you know, it's a pay-per-view match. It's supposed to be a big deal. It's the end of a rivalry, and I felt like, you know, for that series, that's what should happen. That doesn't really work with Universe Mode, because the pay-per-views, it's the culmination of multiple feuds, which makes the videos even longer. So it's the complete opposite with Universe Mode. But with Career Mode, I just feel like, you know, mainly it should just be that one episode. But if you haven't been watching Career Mode, if you don't follow my Career Mode, I did, you know, I'm even gonna go through the whole process again. I got the game right here. I'm gonna open it up just so you get the kind of confirmation sound that I've got. Wait a minute, hold on. Luke Harper with a clothesline, oh my goodness. Big Show's done. Good night, Big Show. That animation is just so beautiful. I could watch it all day, even not all day. I've got other things I need to do. But Luke Harper gets the win over Big Show here. And I have in my possession SmackDown vs. Raw 2006 for the PlayStation 2. And I can see it. I can see it now. I can see the PlayStation 2. I ended up swapping, because it was in my parents' room, so I swapped out my PlayStation 3 for the PlayStation 2, which was just kind of sitting in a box. The PlayStation 3 was. So I will be starting up 2006 GM mode. It's all but confirmed at this point. I won't 100% guarantee it, but it's like 90% guaranteed that at some point I will start recording 06 GM mode. But that's it for this episode. I want to thank you all for watching. Keep on YouTubing.